Hello, welcome to another video. If you are new here, my name is Amanda. I'm 25 years old and I am a first-time mom to a 6-month-old. I have very recently began my fitness journey again. In my last video, I shared a week of workouts, getting back into the routine of lifting weights again. And so I also wanted to share some healthy meals. I've loved to cook for so many years, and since becoming a mom, meal prep has literally saved my life. So getting started, most important thing is to have a plan. When you're meal prepping, and especially if you're a mom, you know you don't have a lot of time on your hands. Having a plan will save you so much time. So I buy my groceries based off of the meals that I know I plan to make for the week. I have another meal prep video on my channel showing you the process of how I plan for my meals, but in this video I want to focus on how I clean and prepare my space in order to have a smooth meal prep process. So unless I clean my kitchen the day before and I have already done this cleaning process, I normally don't meal prep on the same day that I do groceries. It's just a lot. Don't always have the time for that. Sometimes I do and sometimes I will, but a lot of the time this is what works for me. So obviously when meal prepping, you are planning to put a lot of food in the fridge. So in order to make room for that, I need to take food out of the fridge. I start by going through the containers I have in there, seeing what's good, seeing what's not, getting rid of things if they're no longer good, clearing everything out. I also like to have an empty dishwasher during the day, so any of the containers I'm cleaning out, I'm putting directly into the dishwasher so I don't have a pile of dishes in the sink afterwards. Obviously, not everybody has a dishwasher. If you do, I would say definitely take advantage of it. I also want to say I don't wipe down my fridge every single time I meal prep. It's just that sometimes when my fridge is very empty, it's very easy to clean because of the fact that there's not a lot of stuff in there, so I will take advantage of that. Once everything is cleared out and clean, I can go ahead and stock up my fridge with all of the groceries that I just got. I am very much an out of sight, out of mind kind of person, so if it's not in my direct vision, I will forget about it. So for this reason, I like to be very organized and keep things at eye level in my fridge. I like to see what I have so that I make sure that I use it. It's funny because I do have a dedicated fruit and veggie drawer, but I also have a fruit and veggie shelf because there are some fruits and veggies that if I don't see, I will forget to use. Something about myself that I've learned is that I actually need to do things this way. It seems that I have it all together, but the fact is that if I don't do this, I will not have anything together. Everything will be chaotic. I will be so overstimulated. I do not like cooking in a messy or unorganized kitchen. So definitely to each their own, but this is not a skippable option for me. Alright, so it is now the next day. I am emptying out the dishwasher again just to make sure that I can easily put dishes in there as I cook because I do clean as I cook. So because I will be dealing with a lot of food, probably some packages, stuff like that, I do like to have a designated garbage bag right under the section of the kitchen that I am working. And then I will prepare the space that I am working in. I will get out all of the ingredients, all of the veggies and things that I will be using for the meals that I will be making. Also getting the stove ready with the pots and pans that I will be using to make the meals. So we are getting started by cooking some rice.
Okay.
That is the story of my life. So I am starting with rice, even though it is so fast and so easy. Literally, by the time I finish chopping up my veggies, it is done. I do like to let it sit in the pot, so that is why I do it first. I'm making 3 cups of rice with 4 cups of water, and if you wanted, definitely go for brown rice. I didn't have any. I don't mind white rice. This is a healthy meal prep after all, but I do want to mention that I am a breastfeeding / pumping mom, and I do need some extra calories, which it's funny because brown rice does have more calories than white rice, but it also has more fiber and is slower digesting, which is why it is better for you. Anyways, this is catered to me, of course, because I'm cooking it for myself in my household. If you see any ingredients that you would rather not use or some ingredients that you would want to add, then by all means go for it. I am dicing up some red onion and some celery for a tuna salad that is actually not tuna, and it is salmon. I don't really notice a huge flavor difference, but I have just been enjoying the canned salmon more than the canned tuna. Normally, whenever I prep my tuna salad or salmon salad, I will go ahead and mix it in with some mayo and mustard, but I actually didn't do that this time. I just kept it dry because I had some avocado in the fridge that I like to use in place of the mayo sometimes, but I don't like prepping avocado or opening the avocado ahead of time because it will go bad. So prepping it this way gets the bulk of the work done for me, and then when I'm ready to eat it, I can just prepare it how I like and enjoy it that way. By now my rice is done cooking. I turn off the heat, fluff it up, and then I'll just leave it covered sitting. So moving on to some heartier dishes. I am prepping veggies to make a bean chili and a pollo fricassé. So I am Cuban. I grew up eating pollo fricassé. It's very in my nature. And I just wanted to mention, just because you are eating healthy does not mean you need to give up your comfort ethnic dishes. What I think of when I'm starting to eat healthier again is what can I add to my food instead of what do I take away. So by increasing the amount and types of veggies that I use in my pollo fricassé, I am adding to the nutritional value. So here I am using celery, onion, carrots, tomatoes, and a Japanese sweet potato. I'm also chopping up some onion and tomato for the chili that I plan to make. I am chopping them at the same time as everything, but I am separating what I need for each dish. The time has come to begin cooking, and honestly, this is the easiest part. After you get all the veggies chopped, you kind of just throw everything in and let it do its thing, and that's why I'm doing them at the same time, because it's that easy. So I am gonna get started on the chili. The veggies for the chili is just onion and tomatoes, which cook pretty quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my beans rinsed and drained and throw that into the pot. This is technically a 3-bean chili, but you could use any types of beans that you want and however many types of beans that you like. I'm just using three types of beans because this is what I had in my pantry, but you can definitely make this your own. Before I add the beans, I am going to add some minced garlic and get that fragrant, and then I'll go ahead and add the beans. And I am not afraid of seasoning. I do season my food heavily. I just love flavor. And if you're going to be cooking with blander types of foods anyways, also known as vegetables and beans, then why not go ahead and add in as much spice as you like. And speaking of spice, I am adding in a can of diced tomatoes with some jalapeno as well as some tomato paste. Once that's mixed in, I'm going to cover it with some water and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Coming back to the pollo fricassé, I let all of the harder vegetables cook first. Now I'm adding the tomato, and while that cooks, I'm going to chop up my chicken. Normally you can use like a chicken thigh. Some people do drumsticks. I am just working with what I have, which is chicken breast. So I am going to go ahead and add that to the center of the pan, and I like to season it heavily. At this point, I haven't seasoned anything yet, so I'm seasoning for the chicken and the veggies. It's actually chicken tenderloins, I just realized, not chicken breast, but I did only use half of the pack. And so what I'm going to do with the other half is put it into a bowl, season it, and set it in the fridge so that when I'm ready to cook it during the week, I can just have easy access to already seasoned chicken. The next steps for the pollo fricasa are very similar to the chili. I'm going to go ahead and add in some tomato paste, get that mixed in, and then cover it with water. I normally use chicken stock in these recipes, but I didn't have any chicken stock, so I used chicken bouillon powder. The chili has been simmering away. It's looking great. I am going to mash it a little bit. I just find that this helps release the starches of the bean and thickens it up a little bit. I'm going to do a final seasoning, and then it's pretty much done. The pollo fricase is also done. This is a meal that we did have in the moment we were pretty hungry, but I went ahead and packed the rest. Here we are getting started on a one-pot pasta. This is one of my favorites. I'm going to add some onion, ground beef, and minced garlic to a pan. Let that cook together. I'm blending up some tomatoes for the tomato sauce. You can definitely skip this and just use canned tomatoes. Now that the meat is cooked, I'm going to go ahead and season it and then add in my tomato sauce as well as some tomato paste. I'm just going to add some water to the jar of whatever leftover tomato paste I have, shake it up, and then add that in. This is just quicker for me than trying to scrape out the last bits of the tomato paste. I am going in with some olive oil. I love the flavor of olive oil. You don't have to do this step. It's just something that I like to do. And for the pasta, I am using whole wheat pasta. You can use any kind of pasta that you like. Once everything is mixed together, I'm going to cover the pasta with water just to cover the top. I'm going to let that cook covered while I clean, and then when it's halfway done, I'm going to take off the lid, mix it up, and then let it finish cooking uncovered. This is a healthy meal prep, but I am going to go ahead and add some Parmesan cheese to this. I love cheese. And again, like I said, I do need the extra calories. I cannot drop my calories too low because of the fact that I am breastfeeding anyway. So these things I don't really get too picky about. I am putting away all of the food that I prepped, and I actually wanted to give you some more meal inspiration. I know I didn't really prep any breakfast ideas in this video, but this is something that I like to have. It's just a yogurt bowl. I'll add in some fruit, some cereal or granola, and I like to top mine with some peanut butter or almond butter. It's so good, so quick, so easy, and so filling. So what I do whenever I feel like I'm lacking a veggie or green in a meal is I'll go ahead and just tear up some spinach and mix it in. I find it so easy to get in my dose of greens this way, and spinach has a really neutral flavor, so it blends in with a lot of meals actually. With the chicken that I seasoned and put away in my fridge, I am cooking it in the air fryer. This is my favorite way to make a quick meal right now. I'm actually making kind of like a Mexican style bowl with that chili that I made, the chicken of course, and I'm topping it with some avocado. Here I'm getting the salmon salad, and this one you might have to trust me a little bit. I am going to use some mashed avocado instead of the mayo. I'm still going to add the mustard, as well as olive oil and honey, and I'm going to tear up some spinach, mix that all together, and the crunch factor of this is just croutons. Obviously croutons are not the healthiest option, but everything else is super healthy in this meal, so why not go for croutons? So instead of the typical tuna and crackers, this is my salmon and croutons. This is another really good light lunch that I used the salmon salad with. I went ahead and got some potatoes, cut them into rounds, baked them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 25 minutes, and then once they came out, I mixed up the salmon salad together with some mayo and mustard. I just scooped a little bit onto each round, and this was quite delicious. I really liked this one. And let me just remind you that smoothies exist. They are a wonderful, refreshing way to get in a big dose of nutrients and vitamins. This is a green smoothie with spinach, frozen mango that I picked from my tree last year, some blueberries, some orange juice, and it's not the prettiest color, but it was pretty good. That is everything I have for today's video. I really hope you found this helpful and got some inspiration. Thank you so much for watching.